Medina. It is great to see you today. How are you? I'm the founder of Image Power Formula. And I know how it is to be uncomfortable in front of a camera. Have you had that moment where you feel like a deer caught in a headlight and you don't know what to do? That person who says, "Oh, let's take a selfie together." Someone else comes over and says, "Oh, let's get a picture together." What do you do in those moments? Well, yesterday I talked about sharing a story. And today I want to talk about a couple of questions that was sent to me. I had a great conversation with a woman who is really doing well on Instagram. And she's very comfortable with still images, but moving from still images to video, she's got a little discomfort there. And so she's not sure how she wants to really project how she can transfer her image from a still to a video, which I found really interesting. It's not something that I would consider. So the issues that came up for her were technical, and it dealt with sound, it dealt with positioning, it dealt with how she was going to be in front of the camera. So let's talk about that for a little bit today. The first thing that I would always say, and this is for a still as well as for a moving image, is know where your lens is. Be clear about the lens, where it's positioned, because we know that on a smartphone, you're not always sure where the lens is. So I would say pick up the smartphone and simply look behind to where the lens is. And then when you're going to flip and have the front camera, just slide your finger over the top of your camera to see where the lens is going to be. So you always have an idea of where you're going to look. That's the very first thing. The second thing that you want to consider is, again, you're going to take your story, you're going to be now moving into a moving image. And her concern was really the technical parts of it, the speaking, the microphones, the the sound quality, which is really, really important. Now, one of the best things about most of our smartphones and our computers right now is the sound quality is relatively good. I know if you speak to a sound engineer, he will give you a different response, and rightfully so, because his ear is far more in tune and sensitive to the nuances of sound quality than most of us are. But for me, and for the majority of us who are going live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you want to think about how it sounds to you. And you could also let your audience know, okay, I'm doing this from home, and most of us are. You might hear some sound effects outside if there's construction going on, or if there are planes flying overhead, or if you have street sounds that might come through now and then. You can actually simply share with the audience, I'm in a home, it's not soundproof. You might hear some additional sounds while I'm speaking. And you, as the audience, and who's wonderful, and thanks for being here and thanks for listening, also keep in mind that the majority of the people who are going live on social media are not in a soundproof studio as you would have in a movie, on a film set, in a recording studio, where they will create a soundproof area. So the only sound that you're going to be hearing is the sound in that room. A lot of us, we don't have the luxury of that. So we appreciate you taking that into account. So that was the other part that I wanted to share with her, and that we spoke about. Now, the third thing to consider is there are times when you're going to transfer from your iPhone or your Android and you're going to upload it to Instagram, to YouTube, and you find that your recording might be out of sync. Well, that could be a couple of issues. It could be your bandwidth. Sometimes, if you're taking a very high quality image off of your phone and transferring it to YouTube or Instagram, it might be difficult to transfer. It might be a question with your Wi-Fi. It might be a question with your bandwidth. So the first thing you want to consider is transferring it from your phone, from your smartphone, or if you're fortunate enough to be working with an external camera, chances are you're not going to have this issue. But if you're transferring it from your smartphone onto your computer, look at it first before you upload it. That might give you an indication if it's slightly out of sync. So I would then say maybe if you're recording on HD, you might want to drop it down to a lower setting, which then therefore doesn't take as much bandwidth off of your phone to then transfer that video to your your Instagram or your YouTube, whatever social media platform you're going to be working with. Now, if you're going live, you should be okay, as I'm going live with you. If there's a delay, which happens sometimes, you might be having I would say that's expected, that there's going to be a delay between your live stream and what the person is going to hear on the other end. But chances are, 9 out of 10, it will be in sync, but also, again, bandwidth. I had an interesting situation a few weeks ago where I went live and it was going very well from what I could see on my end. But on the audience's side, the sound was going in and out, the footage was going in and out, and I did not realize that until after I stopped the end of the stream and had a chance to look at the footage. And when I saw the video, I realized why there seemed to be some questions as to why people couldn't hear me, and some of the responses that I had. Fortunately, everyone enjoyed the content, so they were very kind and welcomed me back. But it was something that I wanted to make sure I was going to take care of. So I looked into what the bandwidth issue was. It wasn't the problem with the social media platform I was projecting to. It had to deal with the bandwidth on my end. So go and check your bandwidth, and there are various ways that you can do that as well. And oh, you're very welcome. I'm really glad you shared that. I have some wonderful comments here. Really appreciate your comments. And yes, share your comments with me. Let me know what you're thinking. So the first thing I talked about was to make sure you find your lens and to look into your lens. And the second thing is when you're going to, if you're used to being in a still image, how you're going to go to video and what are the technical concerns that you might have with that. And the third thing that we also talked about is the story. You want to focus again, and this is something that I spoke about yesterday. What is the story you want to convey? Then you start to think about the technical issues. In this case, if you're moving from a still to a video platform because you're used to shooting still images, as some of the clients that I spoke to about who are on Instagram and then moving into a still from a still to a moving image, you want to think about the concern that was there was how you were in sync, and you want to make sure you're looking at your bandwidth, you're looking at whether you're recording too high a quality video that will affect how it's going to be transferred from your phone when you're uploading it. But if you're going live, you should be okay. Again, you have to make sure your bandwidth, that you have the right drives on your computer, and that you have the correct bandwidth and Wi-Fi to go from your computer, from your smartphone, whatever laptop or platform that you're using, to the social media platform that you're going to be speaking on. So those are the 3 tips that I have for you today. And I will encourage you to please go to imagepowerformula.com, imagepowerformula.com. I'm going to continue sharing tips and strategies because I know that it can be challenging sometimes to be comfortable in front of the camera. And the more tips and strategies I will share will help you to be comfortable, whether you're doing a selfie, you're going online live, you're doing Instagram, you're at an event, how all those different moments and nuances will help you to be comfortable in just about any camera ready opportunity, which is exciting because we have so many different ones. I'm here with you live and I can really prepare for this moment. But let's say I'm at an event and someone wants to take a photo with me. That's going to be a different form of preparation. So when you go to the website, imagepowerformula.com, sign up, send me your questions, but most importantly, I will be sending you tips and strategies that go a little deeper and much more into a deeper dive than what I am able to share with you on live. So it's a great opportunity to meet you. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Victoria Medina. I'm the founder of imagepowerformula.com. And what I share every time is capture the spirit of life with passion. Go capture those memories. Thank you so much. Have a brilliant day. Bye bye.